Hi everybody. Good evening. If you're watching me live right now, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back. Good to have you back again. I have a video today, a topic that we're gonna be talking a lot this month and probably for a while. Something that a lot of people have to consider before they make a big step and possibly deciding to propose and invite your lady to come to US. So this video is inspired by the popular demand, but also by things I have been observing lately, and I believe it's going to be helpful to you guys. So we're going to talk about main issues and main fears of Ukrainian women, but most likely main issues of Ukrainian women adjusting in United States. So before I do that, I would like to tell you guys that there are some insane things are happening on YouTube, and one day you might wake up and the channels you like are nowhere to be found. YouTube now does a lot. There is a lot of issues with. I forgot the name of that organization, but they put all kinds of restrictions on YouTube. So if you don't want to lose touch with me, if you want to make sure that even if my channel disappear, you want to know how to find me, send me an email on consultveronica@gmail.com. I'll put the email below if you don't know it, and just put the title "Let's Stay in Touch." So I will add you to my email list, because I was watching a video today and I totally understand that it's uncontrollable, what's going on with YouTube. I have no power over it. Of course, it's gonna hurt really bad if they decide to. They can terminate your channel for any reason, if it's too big, if it's too small, if they think you're not a good YouTuber. They can just say, oh, you're a bad actor, so your channel is gone. So it would hurt a lot to lose all this work and all these things that have been posted here, but it is what it is. So if you want to stay in touch, I want to create an email list. And if you want to be part of my email list, please send me an email at consultveronica@gmail.com. I do have a website too, but that would be best if you send it to me. I'll post it under the video. So that's all I want to say. We'll talk about this later. I will learn more and I'll expand more, but it definitely was very disturbing feeling when I listened to these updates, and you just realize that you really have to have your own platform with all the videos and all the people, because YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they do not belong to you. It's almost like you rent something, you rent space, you rent an apartment. So, all right. So now let's talk about the topic today. And what are the main issues or the main fears of the women that come to Ukraine and adjust, or not to Ukraine, that come from Ukraine and adjust in US, let's say for a good reason, with open heart. We're talking about genuine women that finding their love and decide to change their country, with the best intentions, and they move to United States. This channel is we talk a lot about international dating, mostly between Western men and Slavic women. For those of you who are new on my channel, welcome. So, what are those things? What are those issues? A lot of times, you don't even realize how things are going to happen, because you don't know. It's something completely new. You're not aware of. When you have not been somewhere, when you have not lived somewhere, you don't know how it's going to be. You think you have some plans, but once you come there, those plans can change. Today, let's talk about the ladies who decide to stay home. We're gonna talk about today about those couples who are planning to have kids and they having children, and the lady probably stays home and taking care of the kids. You have to understand that not every Ukrainian woman is traditional to the point that she wants to be with the kids for 15 years till they grow up, right? You have to understand that I'm always generalizing, and every situation is different. Not every woman is a housewife in her heart. Most Ukrainian women would stay home for a while, with their child to be able to, make sure they are having, good head start, good beginning, all the love and care they need. But a lot of Ukrainian women also have ambitions, they have education, and they have their desires and their vision for things. Many of them have college degrees, which unfortunately do not mean much in US. So that's for you something to consider. I will have a video about that a little bit later, more into depth on that. I need to have my tea right now. So yes, there are some Ukrainian women that do not oh, it's too hot. That not necessarily seeing themselves as stay-at-home moms, as housewives, and their degrees might not translate very well, and they just might not know what to do. So this topic actually inspired by some real people. Each time I have connection with the community, with the Russian and Ukrainian community here, is that I always come up with ideas and insights just observing the conversations people have. And I can tell you that some women are really not very happy. Because when they came to the United States, they spent time adjusting, first year or two, you just getting your head together how everything works. Then they have children and they stay home with children, so they do not have a chance to go obtain a new degree or work on the degrees they have, or not so many people are deciding to open their business, for example. And that is actually my point. I believe that one of the best options to not lose your identity, to have some of your own money that you make, and feeling like you're doing something, is to have a little business on the side. Yes, children, especially newborns and toddlers, they take they take a lot of time. They take all of your energy, and you better do it while you're young, or at least like relatively young, because it's 24/7. It's a 24/7 job, and there are ladies who are totally okay with it. That's all they want to do, but I believe that every person requires self-expression. When we do not have our own identity, our own persona, when we don't have that, when we completely identifying with our family members, children, or husbands, it's sometimes you feel like you lost yourself. You don't know what you want, who you are, what you like anymore. And I've been through that myself, so I can totally relate to that. And it doesn't feel very good. Also, when you change the country, what happens is, your skills, things you went to school for, things you were known for. A lot of ladies, started their career early, so they were respected professionals in certain careers. You might look at the money they were making and laugh, but there is a thing of a social status when enjoy what you do. You earn that respect, and you have a certain place in the society, and this is your identity. That's, maybe you were managing, maybe you were in a corporate job in Ukraine. Maybe that's what she was doing. Maybe she had any other positions. It's a certain style of life, and it's not the same if she would come here and work in a grocery store or being a cashier. That's so, it's a, even if the salary would be the same, because of the economy difference, it's a totally different mental game. So you need to learn really well about your lady, who she really is, what she really is about. Because what I observed, the unhappiness comes from, in some ways, becoming completely dependent, not having your own voice, and not having a way to express yourself, and to build also your confidence on making some money, earning something. And you guys might be surprised hearing me saying this, because I talked a lot that Ukrainian women always, Slavic women, they count on a man to be the, how you call it in the US, the breadwinner, to be the person that provides. And that is not going anywhere, that is still there. But a lot of times when men tell you that they're going to be a provider, a lot of times they forget how tight their budget really is. A lot of times they have a lot of debt. A lot, often there is, a lot of limitations. So you're not starving, you have a home, but you do not have anything extra. And it's not also only about the money, it's about your mental state and how you feel about yourself. You just have to figure out, if you are with a woman that had ambitions in Ukraine or Russia or Belarus, or wherever she's from, if she was ambitious or creative or successful in something, in some ways she might want to recreate it for her confidence. By the way, you do not have to count on her earnings. And that is one of the points I would like to make here. You don't need to say, okay, now you're working, so you know what, let's use your money for utility bills, or let's use the money for car repairs. No. If you claim yourself that you are a provider, if you claim that you can take care of family, you don't have to count on your money. You don't need to put those earnings into family budget. For many ladies, it would be important to feel that they are becoming more adjusted, to go, either to go and learn language better, acquire a new profession, or open their own little business, which I will be making videos about. Might make a video serious on that, because it's a big topic on what professions or what kind of businesses Ukrainian women can open. But I am not talking about this from the point of some kind of money hunger, not at all. It's a situation where sometimes you can sometimes you can underestimate the situation, the mental, those mental state of the person that you meant. You meet somebody, you meet somebody in Ukraine, they're full of life, they are active, they are doing things, right? They are on fires, they have friends, they have environment, they have their education, they going to work, so they have their identity. They know who they are, and you meet them, and you meet somebody who is full of life, full of energy. You meet somebody who is confident within, and then you bring them here. It's like, hello, desert. I remember coming first to Michigan, and I was like thinking to myself, where is everybody? Where are people? Like, what's going on? Is it like some kind of resort? Because you guys know I live in a small town near the capital of Michigan, um, which is Lansing, not Detroit, like, as many people think. But it looked to me like a resort. But I was so in love, and I was so aligned with my inner intuition. We were really very close, and I didn't think about all those rational things. Thank God, because if I would, my son would never be born. So, or even in any size, shape, or form. So here is the thing: you have to think some steps ahead. You might meet a lady that really does not care about careers, about she just wants to be home, she wants to be relaxed, she wants to raise kids, or she also might be retired from kids. Maybe if you're an older couple, and meaning you both have kids and they're grown, or you both don't have children, and it's too late, it's not part of your plan, and she just wants to enjoy herself, she just wants to be a housewife, she wants to decorate, you want to travel, you really don't want her to do that, she doesn't want it either, but you have to talk with her about it, what she would love to do. Make sure that you make it clear, that you make the statement that I'm not counting on you to pay the bills, or take care of me, as unfortunately a lot of millennial men are raised by feministic women, so they get offended if you see a provider in them. I talk to men, like, I would say under 30 sometimes, and their ideas, it's, boy, it's a whole different story. So you can make it clear for her that, hey, I want you to be happy, you can have your hobby, you can, maybe she is great with your hands. There are a lot of Ukrainian women that can sew, beautiful things. They can create things with their hands. They have whatever they are doing in Ukraine. Pay attention, because they might want to recreate that in US. And if they don't have financial problems, if you don't have financial problems, you can let them do that. Maybe they would like to make home-based business. To my personal opinion, this is not for everybody, not everybody can do it, but home-based business or any other small business is a really great idea to me. But it's very subjective, because I do not personally like working for people, and it's a whole different story. But there are some other ladies that also not want to get answer to somebody, and they always wanted to open a little store, or a little maybe school, maybe teaching language. I've met a friend, I made a new friend in Texas, and she is a dancing, she's an incredible dancer. And she got married recently, and she had a dream to teach little children dance. She is extremely talented, and her new husband, made her dream come true. They opened a studio, and she's teaching little children dancing. So she has her identity. He's helping her to make her dream come true, and I think it's such an incredible thing to do. There is definitely a fear of losing identity when you leave Ukraine, because honestly, you starting from zero. Some people who are born in this country have so much complaints how unfair things are and how this is not given, and the government and the president, and they are it's so unfair, and they forget that they were born here, they are natural born citizen, they went to school here, they speak the language without accent, they have all the opportunities in the world. And then you come here in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you have to start as if you are 5 years old again. So I always want to slap a person. Now you'll see my fear side. Um, I always feel like I want to slap a person who tells how unfair it is, and oh my god, and we are underpaid, and we are not treated fairly. No, you are getting the treatment you deserve, because if you want to be treated fairly, you get more education, you open your business, you get another job, you do something about it. If you have time to complain, you have time to change it. Okay, I'm I digress because these things drive me nuts. And any immigrant who come here and had to overcome everything, including driving, getting it takes years to get your documents right, including the driving, including to even understand. I was talking to my girlfriends today, and we were talking that even driving around, I could not understand how in the world people know how where you driving. Everything looks the same. Uh, there are trees. There is no buildings that are different. How in the world in you south, north, west, east, we don't use that. So even to understand how to drive, how to get somewhere, how to feel comfortable on the highway when you drive, 70. Let's be honest, nobody driving 70 on the highway. It's 80 or 90. So just even that. So all these things, they are challenges of adjusting. And then of course you have to find yourself. If you have career ambition or business ambition or some kind of job ambition, you have to find yourself. And then you finding out that 15, 17, 20 years you had never that you spent on your education do not count. There are people here who never went to school or never worked on their business, and they always have a problem with somebody. They have the wrong president, they have the wrong government, the wrong weather, the wrong climate. But think about those that actually spent years and years of studying and working, and they come and their diploma literally worth zero. Nothing. Think about that one. Yes, there are high professions like technology, engineering, computers, maybe something connected with science. I know some people who actually able to do their scientific things here. But overall, I know a lot of people who were nurses and medical doctors, and here when you come here at 50 years old, 40 something, it's hard to get this all over again, even though they are highest professionals. So how to make things better, you have to have these conversations with your lady. You have to have a vision. Just because you're so happy you found each other and you have great chemistry and you enjoy each other and you're just looking forward being together, you have to, as a man especially, you have to think couple steps ahead. That was one of the downfalls, shall I say, in my own marriage. There was no plan couple steps ahead. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, at some point I had to figure out what in the world I'm doing. And everybody's different. I didn't want to be a nurse. I can stand blood. Or even for $1 million would not become a nurse or a doctor. Just the thought of it just gives me, it scares me. I think you have to be born with this. I didn't want to be a lawyer. Didn't want to be any of these things that high paid, and so so happened that I didn't really have any guidance, but in some way, because things were happening in our marriage, things were not so good, and I was just like, wow, how did I end up in the middle of nowhere, with the major issues, and I have no clue who I am. Here we are. Here we are. Here's the happy ending. You have a child. Your husband is dealing with his own issues. You are literally in the middle of nowhere. And you don't have any, well, you have education, but I have education, but it's not the same. So if you can really get to know the person you are with, ask what they would love to do. If they would have any opportunity they could possibly have, what they would love to do. Maybe she'll tell you, I have been a doctor or I have been a lawyer, but my dream was making borscht. Or my dream was I want to have a daycare, I love kids, or I want to teach. You can talk about those things, and if you strategically think ahead, it's like in driving. You don't drive and look down, you don't drive and look in the back. You are in the moment here, you make sure everything is good, but you're looking ahead. You have to have that vision. It's also extremely important for relationship, because often we get carried away when things are wonderful, but this is where things get stagnant, and then things happen because you didn't have a vision for the long run. So that's what I would like to share with you guys. I don't want to stay for too long. I have to go. Loss of identity is real. I want to tell you that for sure. It's very scary. It's very uncomfortable, because you can be more educated than a lot of people that you know and see, but because your language skills, um, are not good enough, you can't you can't talk. Your language is so behind of, because you never practiced it, you didn't have a chance. You might have a PhD, but if your English is not fluent, you can't communicate that. And so it is very frustrating, especially for women who have ambition, for women who want to find themselves. Another thing, some ladies might consider completely different career, and that actually might be their destiny. So on the bright side, they might find out that they would like to become a nurse, and for the first time in their life, they will make some thousands and thousands of dollars, which is for that profession in Ukraine or Russia is impossible. So it really depends on the situation. You really have to get to know the person to understand what you want. Make sure that you um, are really that you have that conversation with them before, and you have plans. I want to tell you guys, some of you feel sorry for me. Please don't. Because for me, the challenge, the pain was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because in those situations, you really check what you're made of. I do not recommend you to put your future wife through the pain and unknown and stress and tears. I do not recommend this to nobody. But for this case, things actually, one day I will share the full story of everything, because I think it's very inspiring. But don't feel bad. I am one of the happiest people you had ever met, and you do discover your potential when you hit the rock bottom. You don't discover your potential when you just do things that people tell you to do. So you have to, the crisis can give you an incredible discovery of yourself, and you can be useful to others, and you can make incredible things. The crisis just means that there is an opportunity for growth. So that's it. All right, I cannot ignore your messages, even though I really have to go. Um, all right, thank you. Lawrence, I'm not looking for a job. I have my own business. I don't need a job, but thank you so much. I think that I could do some kind of speech or something like that. I do not ever want to work in a constricted environment. I do not want to work when somebody tells you what I need to say. In fact, I was starting this video from, I don't know what's going to happen with YouTube. They are closing channels if they don't think they are relevant, or maybe if they're, you know, they don't find that they are valuable for people. When you work for somebody, there are certain things you have to not say, certain things you have to do, and I will never be employed in my life ever again by somebody. The whole point of me doing, you have to discover who you are, and I did already. So I appreciate the kind words, guys. I know that you meant well, that you think that there are some education skills. I really, really appreciate that. But I'm gonna always use alternative platforms. Unless somebody invites me to speak somewhere. I actually got a few invitations already, but never I'm working for nobody. Plus, I'm expensive. Remember that. No, I'm just joking right now. But the thing is, um, a lot of opportunity brings the internet. A lot of people use internet to waste their time. But internet, if you have good skills, if you have knowledge about anything at all, you can have your platform, you can help a lot of people, and you can benefit yourself. So it's a mutually beneficial. Not very many people have courage to do those things, but they are possible. I developed an incredible love for freedom. So, not to mention the okay, I'm not gonna go into politics, but I see major issue with the universities and their political beliefs. But let's keep that aside. I'll probably be fired the next week just for my thoughts on LGTW whatever community. I'll probably get fired right away because I don't. You know what I'm gonna say. All right, let me see, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Somebody saying culture, language, and environment is a big struggle for anyone who moves to a new country. It take weeks, months, or even years. No, honey, it takes years. It takes years, years and years to adjust. Okay, trust me. And I told you guys before that do not take one person as an example. Okay, just because somebody is doing well in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't apply to all. It's a bad example. I'm gonna be making some series of videos for adjustment, because I had very deep conversations with my friends and somebody that I thought that they're having great lives, and that they are happy, and they are happy in some ways, but you find yourself, you're 40 years old, you have a couple kids, you spend 10-15 years on raising those kids, you did not obtain any new skills. Your husband starting to tell you, well, I'm the one that's working. So basically he's starting to kind of be upset, or sort of giving you a hint that he is a hero, he's a provider. Other words, he's kind of putting that in a I'm not talking about myself right now. I'm talking about a general vision of a person who come and go through the classic, we talk about classic values. So lady, let's just say she come here, she was 28 years old, or so, or 27 or 30. She, gets the kids, she stays home, she takes fabulous care of those kids. And then before you know it, the kids are grown, and or they're growing, there is not enough of money for one person to support four people, right? And your husband kind of giving you a hint that, I'm the one, I'm the provider, and what you've been doing. A lot of men do not appreciate or underestimate. A lot of men underestimate the hard work that women who stay home do. It's incredibly hard work. That's why, personally, for me, if even if somebody making millions, I am having my own thing. I have my own identity, and if I have millions, I volunteer or maybe sometimes work for free, but I do have, a space for myself, because if something goes away tomorrow, I can make it. You know, so as I was talking about this ladies, so I was really, I had a lot of empathy because I've been through some of that. So basically, you have to start over. You kind of feel that maybe you should start working and create something new. And then you feel like you really don't want to work in the grocery store. Guys, I don't think there is any low work, but I think that our people are so smart and talented, they can bring a lot more value than being at the grocery store. Okay? Or sweeping the streets. And I'm not being disrespectful. I think every job is wonderful, but it would not work unless, there is a threat of death. That just would be so boring. So that is the crisis. That is the crisis. That is the issue. I'm not gonna be fixing and telling you absolutely everything in this video. I'm gonna make a video, of course, for my private account on Patreon. Gonna go about into depth about the conversation, but these are the issues. So this video, let it just be not about solving the issues, but these are the issues that, if you're a provider, make sure you're a real one and not the ones that's gonna say, well, I've been feeding you all these 15 years, or, I'm the one that does everything in this home. No, you're not. Because if you would see how much it costs to hire babysitters, housekeepers, and food makers, so how you say this, chefs, you would realize that no, that work is very valuable. And personally, I could never do that. In terms of, you have to have your identity. You are you have a right for being an individual and express your individuality. And it should not be a problem. Of course, we're talking about feminine women that also have a strife. If you have a lady that doesn't care about it, she just want to be home and that's all she wants, you don't have a conflict. But I'm telling you that sometimes you feel this way, and then you have 4 children in a family or 3 children, you cannot support them that great, you cannot take the greatest care of them, and you getting upset, you think that your wife is not doing anything. If you think that your wife is not doing anything, don't go to work one day, stay home and see how that's like. And see how that's like. Chasing a toddler for 12 hours. And then you will have a lot more respect for your wife. I'm just saying. we're gonna talk about the solutions in another video. I believe that there are many. The good news, okay, guys. On the bright side, there are many solutions. There are many ways now with internet. People tell how difficult things are. Isn't that it's so hard? Right now I'm talking to you. There are gonna be hundreds of people watching this video. I'm sitting in my living room. I have some knowledge. I'm sharing this with you. It's gonna help you. So how is there is no opportunity? How? So we're gonna talk about that, about the opportunities, about the ways to find your identity in US as a Ukrainian woman, to find a new identity, to do what you always loved, to step into your power, to discover maybe the new and better version of you, and things like that. So on the bright side, guys, it's all doable, very much so. You can get on a video and share things with the world and get paid for it and do pretty well. A lot of us, a lot of you, and a lot of Ukrainian women, every nation actually. This is not discriminate. A lot of us have incredible talents inside, but because we think, oh, this person is better, that person is better. Oh, I cannot do it that well. I also cannot make a video that with all the special effects and something that everybody will watch, because people like something short, snappy, with cats and weird things. People like video games and all this stuff. But it doesn't bother me, because I know people who wants to hear this message, they will hear it. So it's not gonna hurt me if 300 people watch this video and not 300,000. But it tells you that you have a room to grow. That's all. Anyway, I'm giving you so much information, guys. It's not even funny. All right, I'm gonna look at the messages, guys. Thank you so much for being active. Okay, we have some sad sex. I'm not gonna read the negative messages. I can do what I want as well. Yes, an independent businesswoman, the best financial opportunity without limits, freedom of growth, travel, and peace of mind. Yes, absolutely. Aaron, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Especially if you support in that. Especially, if you're a supporter, you see, when the woman is independent, I'll tell you honestly, it's less about the business, it's more about self-expression, self-discovery, and that beautiful journey. It's not, for me, business is when you have, an Amazon, or you have big building company, or you do some major things that are hundreds of millions of dollars. That's business. Things that people do on their own, they helping somebody, they creating some good product or service. That's a self-discovery and opportunity, personal growth journey, and that's just very exciting. And if you're a good husband, you'll be supportive, and yet you would not be counting on that. You will just let your lady enjoy herself and grow. So Aaron is saying an opportunity for upward growth depends on how much knowledge a person can achieve. Thank you, Veronica, for unselfishly sharing years of education. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Very, very true. There is no ceiling when you work for yourself. When you're on this journey, there is no ceiling. It's not like you can, in a career, sometimes you hit the ceiling and that's how much you can go. And some people are incredible in getting up in their careers. They love it. They love being with people. They like all of that, and that's their purpose. We all not made for the same thing. But what I personally love about having your own journeys is there is no ceiling. It does not exist. So You know, Lawrence talks about office for his future wife. You know, she can work at home if she wants. Some women want to work out of the home. It's the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. I just want to tell you guys, I absolutely love things that I do for you. It makes me feel fulfilled. I was really heartbroken today that you know, this platform might change and disappear. So want to remind you one more time, if you want to be on my mailing list, where I might share some news and just have you in touch, if you know there will be additional platform, I can mail you the links. Please send me an email to consultveronica@gmail.com. The email will be posted under the video so I can add you to my mailing list. If you want to be on my mailing list, you can put the title let's stay in touch on your email and I will add you. Okay, so we won't get all these years of videos and friendships and all of that lost because somebody will decide that, oh, you know, this channel sucks, let's delete it. So guys, from Michigan with love, I have to go. Thank you so much and I will see you soon. Thank you guys for joining. More to come.